What is going on, Facebookers? I'm just checking my settings here. If you guys want to drop some comments, let me know what I sound like. And let me know if the background noise is too much, because I am sitting right next to my jet engine propelled desktop computer. So we'll see what that's like. My audio is a little bit high, looks like, on my end, but it might not be. Might be okay. Do I have the right microphone? Yes, the correct microphone is working. The correct capture is working. All right, guys. So what's going on, Mike? Thanks for joining. I'm going to open up a second window here. Just, I don't know. I hope I can get comments. Yesterday, first thing I want to do, I just kind of want to apologize for yesterday's video. And I know most of you guys probably don't care, whatever, but I just want to apologize anyway, because last night, by the time I got my camera sorted out and working in the new room, by the time I got my audio working at least as good as it is, I don't have my mixing board working, I don't have my actual microphone working, I'm just using the microphone that's built into the camera. So by the time I figured that out, by the time I got all of the color issues and reflections off the green screen and all that sorted out, like you can see my hair is kind of still giving off some green glow. The only way I can really fix that is in post-production now, but post-production doesn't help you when you're trying to go live, right? So I had quite a bit of dickering around last night, and then by the time I actually finally went live, I was so frustrated and tired by the time I actually got on live. So you probably know it probably showed on it probably showed in my video. I seem to kind of be just a little bit miserable, so just wanted to apologize for that. Keith says was on YouTube, came to Facebook. Okay, cool. Yeah, I stream on Facebook and YouTube like simultaneously. Like right now, it's on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Hey, BTC about to pop. Well, we're gonna look at some analysis on Bitcoin and kind of see what I figure. I'm still like, truthfully, I'm not really sure. I have mixed signals again, and I'm kind of, I think I'm waiting for a dip down before I'm gonna buy in heavily. So we'll take a look at some technical analysis there, and see what we come up with. So let's get switched over to the screen share and check out some charts. See what I got here on Bitcoin. Should be on screen share there now. Okay, screen share is working. Very good. So here's the same chart as yesterday, guys. I just kind of have these red support resistance lines here, or trend lines drawn. It's just kind of trying to map this sideways action slash, I mean, really it's a uptrend channel. Not much of an uptrend really, and it's not like it's a confirmed real trend anyway. It's just I'm trying to see if we bounce here at the trend line or if we go below. But this is, again, this is on the daily chart, BTC USD Bitfinex daily chart. I mean, I like that we're still in this channel, and that does give us a little bit of hope and a possible bounce in here. But sort of what I'm seeing here that I'm really not too keen on is moving averages curling down. All right, our 55 EMA is still below our 100 EMA. We do have my cluster. My cluster is the three colors are blue, orange, and green lines. I call my EMA cluster. Those are sort of my lower time frame EMAs. And I mean, they're pointing the right way, but they're curling down again, and they're curling down before the 55 EMA had a chance to break north of the 100 EMA. So like to me, that's a bearish indicator. Something I don't like, if you zoom in on this, we have a big red bodied candle. What time is it here now? Okay, we have 3.5 hours left in the day, so we could come up a little bit. And if we did start coming up now, I'd say, okay, maybe we're going to bounce in this trend line. So that's going to happen in the next 3.5 hours. But what we have, like, we have this big red bodied candle next to, you know, what looks like, you know, a hammer shape. But our big red body is much larger than the hammer at this point. So that's a bit of a bearish indicator. Sort of what I'm waiting for, what I want to see is to get a dip down below the 55 EMA. I seriously don't think this trend line's really holding. And like I don't have confidence in it. Maybe it'll bounce, and if it bounces, it goes up. Whatever. I missed a trade. Really didn't miss anything. I just didn't lose money. But ideally, I'd like to see this come down quite a bit more before I buy in. At least down and connect with this 55 EMA, or even blow through it and bear trap a little bit below it and buy the bear trap. So yeah, like, but it's really hard to tell right now, because really this isn't a trend. This really isn't a trend. It's a bit of a channel, but it's not uptrending. It's really, this is a lot of sideways action. And you zoom out, really we've been sideways from, you know, right here as a low end, and right there is a high end. It's really been sideways action since well, since our 6K bottom, right? So just trying to zoom in. I'm still trying to get used to these colors. I gotta change up some colors, I think. I think we might go with a different candlestick color, because it's hard to see this green against the green of the volume indicator. So I might change up some colors yet. But really, on the larger scale, I'm looking at a sideways trend going on here. We got a couple of bounces on bottom. We got top. I mean, it'd be nice if we can come back up, but I think we need to come down a little bit before we're going to end up coming back up and connecting with our upper channel, or upper side channel, right? Something I'm not too keen on also is on RSI, how we are down. These lines really mean nothing. They're meant for another time frame. But how on RSI we're trending down, we're still pointing down. We've had a lower high on RSI. Now we're making a lower low on RSI. And our next low is going to be less than, like, you can do TA and patterns in that on your RSI as well, right? And our next low is definitely going to end up below, it looks like. Either bounce here, it's going to end up below our previous low on the opposite side, one or the other. Or it's going to, like, come up and head and shoulders and come down or something. So you can definitely play patterns on RSI as well, within reason. I mean, you got to have a little bit of judgment call in there, right? But we're still pointing down. We're still above the 50 mark, but we're pointing down. It's either going to bounce here because we're at the 50 mark and stay above 50, which is the 50 line is, you know, a general rule of thumb is when you cross below 50, it's an additional bearish indicator on top of the fact we're already going down, pointing down. So it's either we bounce right now, right here, strongly, or else we're going below it. Let's get back out of here. And even if we do come down and connect with the 55 EMA, I think that puts RSI below the 50 line. Maybe we'll get a bounce, come up halfway, come up, make a 50% retracement, and probably come back down again. I seriously think that we're going down. You look at MACD. MACD crossed over 4 days ago now. Crossed over bearish 4 days ago. So that's not looking too healthy. It's got to come down. So MACD, RSI are telling us bearish. And on the chart itself, mixed indicators, but the chart basically tells me it's either bounce right now or it's got to come down quite a bit more, reset the RSI indicator, start this whole movement over again is kind of what I'm seeing. I'm really not so hot right now on, you know, a Bitcoin pump. Chuck Dell says that they're going to go around at 8,200 to 8,600 before we see 10K or higher. And that's sort of what I am thinking, okay? I think that we're going to blow through, like the 55 EMA is like currently right now at 88.70-ish, okay? So, and I think we have to come down, and we're going to come down, we're going to have to come down through the 55 EMA in order to reset some of our indicators in order to make another move. So like you're saying, I mean, 88 is just to say we're touching the 55 EMA. More often than not, we're going to bear trap below the EMA. So a bear trap below the EMA puts us, you know, like at 86 is 85, 86 is quite a reasonable area to come down and just bear trap a little bit below the 55 EMA. So if we're going to return bullish, I would have to agree with what Chuck says. I think that we should end up seeing 85, 86, maybe down to 84 would be quite a reasonable area. And if you look, like there's another reason here as well. We have our previous top in here. Our previous top in here, well, the high would have been 84.58. So right there, that would be a reasonable area. Like I got, okay, so I Alt-H, I put a horizontal line at 84.77, right? Which it would be quite a reasonable drop in order to give us some bear trapping below the 55 EMA. Now, the reason why I think we'll bear trap below there and then probably see a bounce is just kind of the way the whole market has been in the last while. Everything we've done, all of the big moves that we've made were after we bear trap, okay, or bull trap, and then we start making some big moves. So I mean, you got to realize people with more money than us are the ones who control and move the markets. They're watching the same kinds of things as we are. They're going to wait until everybody's selling and everybody's hurting, and then they're going to buy. Okay. If we come down around 84, 85, people are going to start to hurt a little bit. But if we do come down here and bounce, that maintains, you know, a wave structure. All right. That means that if we bounce here, it would be a bullish indicator because we're still above the previous high that we encountered. Although, like, really, this here's a failed wave because we had a high and then we had another high that just barely managed to get above it, and we have tweezer tops in here as well. Tells us down action. It's a bearish indicator. So really, I have a way more bearish indicators on the daily chart than I do bullish indicators. Anybody else chatting over here? Chatting amongst yourselves. Very good. Okay. Let's move down a time frame here and go. I'll skip that. I'm going to go to the 4-hour chart. Now, 4-hour chart. Okay, so 4-hour chart, what we had previously, what did we have? We have a low in here, and then we have a higher low, but a lower RSI, which would be a relatively bearish indicator. On the top side, we had, I told you about this, guys, yesterday. The top side, we definitely have bearish divergence. We have higher price action, but a lower RSI. So RSI is on its way down on the 4-hour as well. Just had this little bit of a spike. Okay, so we have from here to here, we have a higher low. RSI has a higher low, which is a fairly neutral indicator, but we are pointing up currently right now. I just don't think it's going to hold. Really hard to say. Mixed indicator. Basically, guys, this tells me absolutely nothing. So the 4-hour chart basically says we're going sideways, or predominantly sideways, slightly up channeled, right, but predominantly sideways. It tells me that our EMAs are in a wild cluster at the moment. So when the EMAs are in a cluster, basically that's like, it's such a neutral, it's such a non-indicator because it doesn't give us a direction. It doesn't tell us that we're on a bullish trend, so trade bullish. It doesn't tell us we're on a bearish trend to trade bearish. Right, it tells us that basically we're in a no trade zone. I'm waiting for the market to do something, like poke it with a stick, and see if it'll do anything. Right? Probably then the next thing, like I don't know, EMAs are down. I think we're going to cross bearish, and probably end up down towards our 200 EMA, which is the big fat blue line. It's a 200. Or sorry, that's a 200 MA. Yeah, that's a 200 moving average, not exponential, just 200 MA. So. I don't know, like it could bounce and go up. It's a possibility. It could be one of those moves where it's going to do the opposite of what I think. But I think even if we do bump up a little bit, we could come up, make a 50% retracement on this move, because this is kind of like one wave. We get second wave because we'd have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement, let's draw that. Okay, so we have, I can't reach the top right now, but just call that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we would have after that, ideally, we're looking for an A, B, C, and then we're probably going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Okay, don't quote me on this last move, but do I think we should bounce up here right now? Probably. Just to mess with your head a little bit. But ideally, or what I really think is going to happen, I think we're going to end up somewhere down around this 200 MA. So this 200 MA is currently sitting, now this is going to move as price action goes up or down, but currently sitting at about 86.23. So you go back to the daily chart. So if I say we're coming down to the 200 MA, that's 86.30-ish. And back on the daily chart, like I said, daily chart, I said based on this top, I said I've got 84.70 or so. So, I mean, that's in the same ballpark. Okay, so that's this red line, right? That's in the same ballpark. So on the 4-hour chart, likely we should come down and we should bear trap below this 200 MA. So that puts us 84 to 8600. On the daily chart, we should bear trap the 55 EMA. So that puts us, you know, again, down at this red line, the 84, 85 area. Okay, let's get rid of this here and check another time frame and see what another time frame tells us. Okay, moving down, check out the 1 hour. Now, 1 hour tells us something that's, you know, a little bit different. It tells us that a likely bounce is going to happen. And the reason is because RSI is like right down. We're touching the oversold area, so we'll probably likely just like take a quick spike down and then jump and then take a bump up. We have no divergences. Basically, all the bottoms on RSI are basically at the exact same point. The only divergence that we had was right here. We had a low, lower low. Then we had a low and a higher low, which is a bullish divergence, but we've already gone up and we've already tanked off of that. Remember, we went up so far here, right? And volume died off, price action died, volume died, and now we're dumping, okay? So I think we have to make a lower low than this. I don't think we're stopping here. We have to make a lower low than this previous low in order to reset all the indicators in the higher time frame and then try again. So we have all of the moving averages have now crossed over to the bearish direction. So do I think we can bounce here? Yes. Do I think we're going to retrace this whole movement? No. I think we're going to bounce. We'll probably come up to like 92. I don't think we'll see 93. I think we'll see 91.50, 92, and then take another leg down, create a new low, and then start the next cycle, all right? And you look at other, like MACD, definitely cross bearish. It's gone hard to the bearish. I don't think we're ready to curl yet. MACD is going to come. It's going to go quite a bit deeper yet. And if we are going to be bullish, MACD should not end up crossing far below our previous lows. So we have at negative 90 area to negative 120 area. We shouldn't cross below these previous lows if we're going to turn bearish. But we are definitely on a hard bearish movement on MACD right now. RSI, like I said, just touching oversold. So indication of a bounce. I think it's going to be a very, very short-term bounce, and we're going to set a new low on the 1 hour chart versus the previous low. I think this was just a small bump up. We're going to carry on. We're going to make another low and then carry on the next cycle. All right. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. If I go down to a lower time frame for those of you guys who are day trading like me, yeah, okay, so RSI definitely went like completely oversold, like severely oversold. But like, hey, here's it as an example over here. All right, over on this side. See how RSI went oversold, right? It went super oversold. We bounced. We had a dead cat bounce, and we created a new low with a higher RSI. All right, so that is, of course, a bullish divergence, right? But you see that just because RSI is low usually means we have a bounce. It doesn't mean that we're bullish. It just means we have a bounce. It could be a bullish bounce. It could just be a dead cat bounce, which is a very bearish movement, right? It means we're still going bearish. We're going to go down some more, right? So what we're looking for before I'm really going to actually get serious about buying in, I'm going to let this bounce up, okay? Maybe short the bounce. Okay, maybe, not guaranteeing I will, but maybe short the bounce, depending on what I see for volume and price action at that time. Short the bounce, or just wait, or just sit out, okay, and wait for this new low on price action. Okay, wait for that low to go down to the point where you think like, Okay, I can't get any lower, but just verify that RSI is not going lower than previously, and that's usually a pretty good entry signal in order to catch a movement like here we had from 9K to 9,400. I mean, that's enough, especially if you're playing with margin. That's enough of a trade. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for a divergence. I'm looking for signals right now, and I'm just not seeing it. Okay, now yesterday, excuse me. Yesterday, I don't know what it is at all times of the day. I'm just yawning at all times of the day. I don't understand it. So what did I say yesterday for coins to watch? I said Litecoin, which actually tanked. It was on an uptrend, but then it tanked, so that's fine. No big deal. Now actually, if you look, Litecoin's actually about to make a divergence here, it looks like. I don't know, that's even. Litecoin could actually come down and start bouncing. Litecoin could be a good entry here in the next couple of hours. Do I have, oh, this is a 15-minute chart, that's why. Okay. Yeah, see, I zoom out to the hourly chart. I think we're going to end up with a bounce. Actually, Litecoin could double bottom bounce right here. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but the wick down here is at about 150 even, give or take. And RSI is pretty low here. Litecoin could make a double bottom bounce. I wouldn't really get my hopes up on it, but could double bottom bounce. If it makes a lower low, then we're looking for new signals at our lower low. So Litecoin, I'd probably go ahead and make a buy when either a bounce confirms or when RSI goes into a severely oversold condition. Zoom out a little bit more. Yeah, see the 4-hour here. 4-hour looks very bearish. We're definitely trending down. EMAs, our EMA cluster is now beginning to cross the 100 EMA. 55 is still above the 100 EMA though, so that's actually good. But RSI itself is definitely looking bearish still. So I think trying to buy it on the 1-hour or 15-minute charts right now would be pretty dangerous if you're playing long. I think 4-hour chart be what you're looking for, is look for a severe oversold condition on the 4-hour, or just wait until the new trend forms. I mean, like I said 1,000 times, guys, not trading is trading. So you can always just wait. Just sit out and just wait, right? Daily chart to me, though, when I look at the daily chart, I would say that we got to take another wave up yet. There's been no real condition, no real sell condition on the daily chart in here, other than, I mean, okay, we've gone bearish, lower time frame is fine, sell, whatever. But RSI never reached the overbought conditions. Mind you, it never did over here either. Definitely pointing down. It's hard to say. What do we have on the cluster? We have 55 is definitely below the 100. So trading bearish. Yeah. EMA cluster curling down. That tells us more downside action, and RSI has a lot of room to go down. Just like on Bitcoin, RSI has a lot of room right now to go down. So I'd be extremely, extremely cautious about trading anything bullish right now. But by all means, scalp the bottom if you think you can find bottom. Okay, guys, let's see if you guys have any questions or anything I can help you guys with here right now. I'm not really going to chart all these coins because basically, guys, Bitcoin is the king. Whatever Bitcoin does, the rest of the market is generally going to do with some degree of variation and the odd sporadic pumps here and there. But the sporadic pumps, when you have an altcoin that does something completely different from the rest of the market, it generally has nothing to do with technical analysis. And I generally don't care why it pumps, and I generally don't care if I get in the pump or not, because I'm trading, day trading, based on technical analysis. I can't follow the fundamentals of every coin. So let me just go back to my camera here, and we're going to check and see if you guys have any questions or things I can help you guys with. Okay. Okay, explain the bear trap. So a bear trap, or the opposite would be a bull trap. So a bear trap is when, how am I going to best explain this? Let me go back to my charts before I explain that. Okay, let me put that on the list. I'll go back to the charts. That's when the whales drop by and shake the market once it's at the 50-50. Yeah. Or some good / bad news comes out. Yeah. Yeah, they'll use FUD or whatever fundamentals as a reason to pump or dump. Oh, you're trying to explain a bear trap. Okay, let me go back to my charts. I'll explain a bear trap or a bull trap. I'm just going to try and find an example here. So, I mean, based on the 200 MA, I'll have an example here. Okay, back on screen share, right? Okay, so BTC USD, you could consider something like, you see how our 200 MA right here, right? And this is on a 15-minute chart. You see how we have bullish action, okay, above the 200 MA, and then we went back below the 200 MA. And we've been trading quite consistently below the 200 MA. So we would consider this area above the 200 MA to be a bull trap, because what we did is we pumped the market above the 200 MA and we created a condition where we have a buy condition. We created a bullish condition in the market, right? But there is no continuation. There is no form of a trend, really. This uptrend on the bottom, but really sideways action is really weak on the top, so we wedged and we dropped out, went back below the 200 MA, okay? We could consider this area a bull trap because we trapped the bulls. Okay, the bulls are the ones that are pumping the price, right? They're the ones who are trading in the positive direction. So we trapped them above here and then turn the market bearish. So now we have a heavy sell-off in order to trap the bulls, right? And then cause their margin positions to go to get closed off, you know, and basically create a stop hunt. So we hunt for stops on the bullish trades, cause the market to come down, look for new lows, and buy again. So that would be an example of a bull trap. See if I can find something else here that's relevant. I guess if I go to maybe, I don't know, a 4-hour chart, I can find some other examples. Okay, so 4-hour chart. Not really seeing anything you would consider a trap in here. Okay, so let me actually get rid of that line just so you're not confused. Okay, here would be an example of a bear trap. And you can do this. This doesn't have to be with moving averages. This can be with patterns. You can have a pattern, and the pattern kind of dips out and then goes back into the pattern. That would be considered a trap. I have one type or the other as well. I just trade a lot using moving averages, so I'm using that as an example. So now, like, you know how, like, I generally use the 55 and 100 EMAs as, you know, the conditions of whether we're trading on a trend or not, right? So here's an example of a bear trap. Price action has gone down and did some trading below, right, below my 55 and 100 EMAs, which to me is generally a sell condition, right? It's a bearish condition. So what I say is the market's bearish, so I'm only looking for bearish trades. So if I got down here and then I shorted the market, and then the market comes up, right, this would be considered a bear trap. So we trap the bears, we cause them to make the wrong decision, and that is to sell or short the market, right? And then the bulls come back and pump the market, and we call this a short squeeze. So we squeeze the shorts because we shorted, we squeeze the bears, we squeeze the shorts, pump the price, and then look for the liquidations on those bears. Look for those bearish positions, liquidations. Okay, when they start to liquidate, now a short, when it liquidates, turns into a buy, and then it pumps the market even more, right? So this would be an example of a bear trap area. And this can be done, like I say, with patterns. If you have a triangle pattern and the price dips out of the pattern and then pumps again, that would have been a bear trap, right? Or if you have a pattern and the price goes above the pattern and then dives right back down, that would be considered a bull trap. You trapped the bulls in that area, you took their money, caused the market to go the opposite way of what they were thinking. It's a trap. Basically, that's what that means. Any other questions I reckon that's some stuff I can help you with, guys? Explain what volume and price action have to do with your decision to short a bounce. Okay, so if you have a bounce, basically if you have a bounce and it starts out with good volume, or it started out with no volume, whatever, and you see volume just die, volume disappears, right? It's a pretty good indication that what you have is a shitty bounce, right? And it's not going to continue because you don't have the volume to create continuation. And you got to figure a lot of the volume that comes in these pumps or in the dumps are as a result of liquidations, right? Because most people are playing margin positions where the price can only go so far before you're out of money and you have to liquidate that position, and you've lost everything, right? So if the market is truly moving in a bearish or a bullish direction, right, whichever, we should be hitting liquidations, right, at the bounce and for a good distance after the bounce, whether that's go up and bounce down or go down and bounce up. There should be a lot of volume in there because we should be liquidating all the people who made the wrong decision. And that adds additional volume into the market. It's not just about people buying and people selling. It's about people's short positions getting liquidated and people's long positions getting liquidated. And that's where a lot of the volume in these markets come from, okay? So if I see a bounce and volume dies, what that's telling me is that there aren't enough shorts or there aren't enough longs getting liquidated to create the kind of volume that we need in order to have a continuation on that bounce. Okay, and in continuation, Keith also asked, what is your source for eyeing volume indicators? Well, it's very simple. If you go back onto TradingView, okay, and I just got to turn my camera back or my screen share back on. Okay, all of this down at the bottom is your volume indicator. Okay, you'll see here if I go, I have volume, I hide it, I unhide it. That's your volume indicator. So I'm always watching this volume indicator. That is my source for volume. Okay, so I'm always watching that volume indicator, and you can see we come up and volumes just kind of died, which to me it signals a shitty bounce. I mean, even you zoom in, see you have these spikes, but volume dies, and you see we have this bounce here is no volume. There's no volume, no volume, no volume. All the volume already happened, and then we have no volume, no volume, no volume. That's a weak market indicator right there, okay? So when I see that, I look at opposite condition. If we're going up and volume's dying, I would say we're going down. If we're going down, then what I'm looking for is a volume spike. I'm looking for volume to die, and then on the bounce, we should have high volume for the bounce when we do decide to go up, okay? And then also continuation on that volume. If volume dies, that means the market's weak. It's got to come back the other direction. Okay. And there was one more question there, I believe, as well. Do you use some form of hedging using a combo of BTC with other altcoin? I trade all my pairs. Basically, I trade everything against USD. So if I make a shitty trade against USD, because on Bitfinex anyway, I can't open a short and a long in the same pair. So a lot of the time what I actually do on Bitfinex anyway, if I want to hedge, I do hedge, not all the time because sometimes it's just shooting yourself in the foot. But yeah, sometimes I will hedge, and all I'll do is instead of trying to trade a BTC pair or a USD pair, I'll actually just, like, let's say I was long in BTC USD and I said, oh shit, I was wrong, but I don't want to give up that position. What I'll do is I'll open a short in BTC Euro. So I'll short BTC EUR and then make my money there, close that short, wait for the market to go bullish, and then I can exit my BTC USD pair. So yeah, I do have a bit of euros stacking up in my Bitfinex account as well. And then, of course, I really can't send those anywhere. So when I want to cash out my euros, I just buy Bitcoin with it and then send it to my exchange and cash out. So yeah, what I do is actually I use the euro pairings as my hedge. So I really have no use for euros, but it's just money, right? It's just money. So yeah, I'll use euros as my hedge. Any other questions out there, guys? I suppose I should check my YouTubes and see if anybody over there has any questions. See if I can open that up here, because I'm not watching the YouTube chat whatsoever. Oh, Keith, you were on YouTube, right on. Yeah, I wasn't watching the YouTube chat whatsoever. Sorry, guys. But the video quality is definitely better on YouTube than it is on Facebook, because Facebook maxes out at 720p, which is kind of why I really love YouTube, because I can actually stream at 1080p on there, legit 1080p, and you can actually read what's on my screen. So yeah, Keith, sorry I didn't get your comments there. The Curious Loon says, hey, what's up? 3 viewers. Thanks for watching, guys. If you do have any questions or comments on YouTube, I am watching now. If you guys have any other questions, comments, anything at all, drop them in there now. I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds to kind of think up any questions if you have any that I can help you with. And then I'll go ahead and exit the stream, because I'm, you know, basically, like I say, I'm waiting for signals at the moment. I think it's pretty dangerous to play short right now. I think you're too late to play short. I think it's dangerous to play long, because I don't think it's time to play long. It's an iffy market right now. The best thing to do might be just to sit out and wait for this to play out and see what happens afterward. Yeah, right on, Keith. Glad I can help you out. What do I have here? A bunch of notifications. Alright, guys, if I don't see any questions coming in, you know how this works. When you stop talking, I run out of things to talk about, and then the stream is over, and then we will we'll see you guys on the next one. All right, no comments. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. Of course, guys, if you'd like to learn some more about technical analysis, now that I have my office set up, green screen's working good, color problem is worked out, still some green bleeding in my hair, whatever, good enough. But otherwise, it's looking fairly decent. Looking good enough for the girls I go out with anyway. So we're going to get back on the live streams, hopefully at least one every single day. I still have a list of stuff I got to produce for the trading course, but if you would like to learn some more about technical analysis, you'd like to learn more about the skills that I use every day in my trading, CoinTradeMastery.com is where you want to be. And if you're watching on Facebook right now and you're tired of only watching at 720p, just hit up my YouTube channel, also above my head, youtube.com/c/JesseCrypto, and you can come and watch me in 1080p if you really want to see how ugly I am. So until next time, guys, be sure to trade safe. As always, if you are just trading based on what some random guy on YouTube says, you're doing it wrong and you're probably going to lose all your money, all right? You need to learn some skills in this market. Learn how to analyze things fundamentally. Learn technical analysis. Learn how to analyze support, resistance, trends, trend lines, chart patterns, indicators, and then learn how to put that all together, and you'll do pretty good in these markets. I'm not saying every trade I make is a good trade, but I definitely make more profitable trades than losing trades anyway. So until next time, guys, trade safe and stay profitable, all right? We'll see you on the flip side. Ciao for now.